3, 2, 1.
Hi
Hello
juniors.
juniors. Hello.
मैंने
हेलो बोल दिया।
मैंने भी हेलो बोल दिया चलो
क्या हुआ? हाय जूनियर्स
हाय
बोलना
जूनियर्स
है।
हाय जूनियर्स बोलना है ठीक है
3, 2, 1. हाय
हाय
जूनियर्स।
जूनियर्स
अबे यार।
हाय बोलना हेलो बोलना
हाय
है
हाय
हाय
हाय।
ठीक है 3, 2, 1
Hi,
Hi
juniors.
juniors. So today we are going to discuss about the electives and the two core courses that are statistics and microeconomics. So for the electives,
आई थिंक लोगों को नाम देख के लगता है कि electives है, इतने ज़रूरी नहीं होंगे, हमें कोर पे फोकस करना चाहिए। तो ऐसा नहीं है। आई थिंक एनईपी में ऑल कोर एंड electives हैव द सेम ग्रेड पॉइंट्स। सो सभी में हमें इक्वल ध्यान देना पड़ता है। आई थिंक द ओनली डिफरेंस इज दैट कोर में यू हैव गॉट टू पार्ट्स, while electives में only one professor will teach you the entire semester, and each elective has a different taste to it, different requirements, different test structures, and we had electives which are not really going on right now. You have a lot of new electives as well. So Harshit had behavioral with him. He can tell you a lot about how the subject is and what to expect from behavioral.
Yeah. So to talk about behavioral economics, ये कोर्स सौरभ सरकार सर पढ़ाते हैं
Yes.
and his teaching style is I would say the most unique over here because उनकी classes में there isn't as much regular pressure. You can maybe like avoid one or two classes, but the thing is कि उनकी class में the important thing is you listen to him, you make notes, and a lot of times he mentions extra things. Because behavior में जो आप चीज़ पढ़ रहे हो, that is just your departure from basic microeconomics models. For example, we studied things like कि more is better. So we proved behavioral economics में more isn't always better, and that there are scenarios where even though some commodity brings us happiness, still we do not want more of it. And because we studied things like these throughout the course, it's a very rewarding course if you want to actually in depth learn something which is not at all what we have studied before. Behavioral economics is a very good course, it's a very rewarding course. The evaluation structure was also very unique. Instead of having the general structure which we have for our core courses, हम लोग के दो internals हुए थे. Both of those internals had the entire syllabus that we had done up to that point. And हमारे continuous assessment के पूरे portion के लिए all we had to do was write a research proposal, which included कि हमें वो research करने की motivation क्या है, what are particular research which has been done in that field, and how we are going to build upon it, and what will be our data sources, our basically methodology to build upon it. So yeah, behavioral economics is a very good course, and I will recommend taking it if you can.
I think just a disclaimer before we diverge about the other electives. This was our structure. This may not be the same for you. The test may not be same for you. So just a heads up about that.
right, I would also like to start with agriculture and CIHP. So we get a number of readings in that, especially CIHP, and I would recommend. The sir has a very systematic way of teaching. He picks up one research paper and then completes it, then goes to the second research paper. So I would recommend if you can go back and go through that research paper, because the notes that that sir provides are very much sufficient. But if you'll add the research papers with that, you'll be able to score well in that subject. Also, CIHP and agriculture subjects are the ones, if you are a UPSC aspirant, then that subject will help you a lot, because Varun sir expects a very systematic form of writing. So that will also enhance your writing skills, the newspaper type of writing. And for CIHP, we had 3 surprise tests. He eventually gives you a hint that when he's going to take that surprise test, but sometimes it becomes a bit,
Genuine surprise. हाँ, कि
yeah,
आज हो
genuine
गया पेपर.
surprise, because sometimes he can play with you, but most of the times the hints are very much clear. ऑल्सो सरप्राइज टेस्ट का एक अच्छा एडवांटेज ये रहता है कि CIHP हमने रोज़ पढ़ा, और रोज़ पढ़ने के बाद फिर हमारा जब एंड सेमेस्टर था, जो एग्जामिनेशन था, एंड एग्जामिनेशन, वी वर नॉट दैट मच स्ट्रेस्ड आउट इन दैट, because every notes were prepared and we just had to go through it. We had done it 5 to 6 times.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. Same goes with agriculture, that in that also we had surprise tests. And I would recommend to sit for all the classes, because sometimes whatever is discussed in the class comes exactly in the same format in the paper. So
I think that
that
goes
would
without
be
saying for all subjects.
right.
Like you have to sit for all the classes because
Hmm.
the teachers they actually give you such great insights in between slides as well. So you just can't be that I'll just see the slides later on and all. No,
Yeah.
I think if you really want to do well at DSE and know what it's all about this entire process, you should attend each and every class and listen what our professors are telling you.
To add on for CIHP, so I personally did not have CIHP, but I had another course offered by Varun sir in some other semester. And once again, adding on to just what you said, a lot of times we look at surprise tests as some sort of a problem in our way. But if anything, that's extremely good because जैसे आपने कहा मेरे लिए भी वही था like I'm someone जो बहुत ही weak है theoretical subjects में like I cannot remember कि किसने क्या articles लिखे इसके क्या arguments थे. But because of the fear of those surprise tests, I had gone over everything like 10-15 times because of which by the time हमारा final exam आया I could like just count on my fingers कि हाँ हमने उस्मानी का ये article करा हम लोगों ने मिलानोविच का ये article करा ये इनके arguments थे and that is something which was new for me as well and so yeah like in a way those surprise tests actually help you prepare in advance and because of that during the end sem exams even though बाकी subjects में मेरे थी बहुत tension कि यार like इसमें मेरा इतना backlog है I have to cover this I have to do this in that course I was just completely relaxed because मैं पता ही मेरी already जो है 10 बार prep हो चुकी है इसके and I just have to you know like go over it 1 or 2 times and I'll be prepared completely.
Even before the class starts, he does a small recap if you
Yeah.
did in your time as well. So that recaps also helps you a lot if you are well prepared before the class. So you can get a quick recap just before the class, whatever happened in the last class.
थिंक इसके अलावा हमारे 3 कोर होते हैं. आई थिंक मैथ्स का तो एक अलग वीडियो बनना चाहिए.
Right.
ठीक है.
Isसे पहले I would like to add on to the tutorials part of it. They don't know about it, so
Yeah.
if we can brief them about it. So tutorials सारे सब्जेक्ट्स के रहते हैं इवन फॉर इलेक्टिव्स. सो आज हर्षित का पहला ट्यूटोरियल था फॉर द थर्ड सेमेस्टर. सो वुड यू लाइक टू टॉक अबाउट मोर
Okay, so tutorials they are meant so like they are used in 2 different ways. So in our first semester, normally we used to have problem sets given to us in tutorials, and our professors used to help us solve those questions. If there is something which is not covered in class yet and they want to cover that, they used to cover it. And you also have TAs assigned, which will again teach you something which was not covered in class but is important. And again, if you have some doubts in numericals, in some concepts, your professors and your TAs will be there during those hours to help you cover those and clear those. So they are again very highly recommended because there are a lot of questions which you can't ask in class because a lot of people are there and there is not a lot of interaction per se. But in tutorial hours, I think they are more approachable in those times, the TAs and the professors, both of them. So you can just mail them the questions beforehand and just ask them to solve them for you, or just help them, or just guide you on what to do. So,
Yeah, like just adding on to what Tarun just said, like I completely agree. Like this is something which was a huge shock for me as well, like coming from undergrad to masters. That, for example, in undergrad, we can just go up to our professors at any moment.
Yeah.
Most of the times, they just end up sharing their WhatsApp numbers and we can just send them our doubts any time of the day and they will reply to it. Whereas that is not the case here. And it is simply because of the size of the batch we have.
yeah.
It's simply not possible to respond to 300 students in a day because of which professors aren't as accessible to you as you would expect it from your undergraduate. And on top of that, as Tarun said, you most of the times you cannot get your doubt across within the class itself simply because there are so many students. There's a lot of course to be covered, and so the tutorials becomes extremely important if you want to, let's suppose, talk to the professor about anything, like even if it lies outside the scope of the syllabus. Even then,
You can.
tutorials are a good time to discuss that. And apart from that, you can obviously always use the office hours offered by the set professors. So yeah, tutorials are quite important, even apart from the sense of just having to mark your attendance and get those 5 marks.
So let's get to the other subject, which is SBC. And उसके लिए भी आप सबको बहुत सारे doubts हैं. Let's dive into it.
I think we were offered just one SBC course. I think you guys have 2 of them. So our course was named Data Visualization, and SBC को लोग सोचते हैं कि भाई कम क्रेडिट का सब्जेक्ट है तो कम पढ़ना चाहिए वगैरह. That is not the mindset you want to go with for SBC because these courses are just built to develop those skills which will come in place somewhere else down the line for internships, for placements. So if you listen to those lectures, attend those tutorials because they are practical hands-on tutorials in the lab in CDE, they will only help you down the line because you don't have to spend some time honing your skills later on if you can just pay attention in SBC. And uske exams I think 30 marks ka hota hai, and you don't have a lot of exams in between as well, but it also is a determinant in your final CGPA. So you can't just leave it for later. Just pay attention in class and it will help you.
Okay, and to add on a little bit to it, जैसे तरुण ने कहा, like those courses are made to enhance our skills. And one of the, I think, main problems I see with students who are coming to Delhi school is that कि while we are extremely great at economics, हम लोगों को उतना programming languages वगैरह नहीं आती है. And so within first semester itself, data visualization हम लोग को स्टेटा सिखा दी गई थी, which at least helped us. Like for example, even if you don't know any major coding language, at least you have Stata, and Stata, even though it's not used as openly in corporate sector, it can still be very helpful for you. And apart from that, second semester I would say was a lot more rewarding because वहाँ पे हम लोगों ने Python जो है करा था, and not only Python, we did time series modeling through Python, and that is something that even for me, like someone who is experienced in Python, मुझे नहीं आता था. And so because of that, SBC courses are actually important and we should pay attention to them, and actually treat them as a full course as well, and don't just like treat it as कि हाँ यार ये तो हो जाएगा बाद में.
There is another question that should we enroll into a coaching or not? So what are your take on it?
Yeah, I think a lot of us were confused about the same in our first year. But as someone who did not take a coaching and still managed to score really well, I would say that coachings are a waste of time and money. Okay, our professors are so well versed in their subject. I mean, they are DSE professors. There is no coaching which can substitute them. So, if you pay attention in class, if you are focused and consistent, you don't need anything else. You don't even need YouTube videos, I would say. So I would say coachings are a waste of time. You won't anyway get the time to first sit for classes and then go for coachings and then self study. You cannot. That's not possible humanly. So I would highly recommend against coachings.
And also, like from a DU perspective, for example, we have some major coachings which are very, very commonly used for our undergraduate studies. And that is not the case here because in undergraduate, everything is very centralized. For example, even if my professor is teaching me something, that might not necessarily be asked in the final exam because we just needed generalized preparation. But that is not the case here. For example, let's suppose a professor is teaching you, and on the spot he remembers some new topic which he never taught the senior batches. He will just add it to the course. So even if, for example, you're taking a coaching, you're studying very well through it, most of the times you cannot make up for these extra things which have been added later on, and the style the professor has taught it for that particular year itself. And because of that, the generalized method of teaching, which is offered by those coaching institutes, it simply does not work out with the DSE curriculum.
And even I also completely agree with that because coming from a non-mathematical background, because in my undergrad we didn't have that much quantitative subjects. Still, I was able to score well in maths for the linear algebra just by sitting in the classes and making notes. And I would just recommend that uh, if you will just take the advice from the teachers, whatever concepts they want us to know, whatever the course structure it is. So भाई
चिल ठीक है, अभी इसमें रैप अप कर देते हैं. नहीं, अभी वो बोलते हैं ना कि नेक्स्ट चीज नेक्स्ट
कोचिंग का बस एंड में ये बता
बोल दे.
देते
हाँ,
हैं कि ठीक है, एक मिनट.
वे भाई
हाँ चलो. Yes, I completely agree with both of you. I believe that whatever the teachers are teaching you, that is enough. और अगर आपको कुछ help चाहिए तो we have our LLMs to help us. It all depends on your self study. उस पर आपको ज़्यादा फोकस करना है बिकॉज टीचिंग वाला काम हो चुका है अब. और अब आपको अपने आप पे काम करना है, अपने वीकनेस पे काम करना है. So we believe that this is enough and coaching won't help you much and you won't even get time for that.
I mean, अगर पैसे खर्च करने ही हैं तो just get a library card and just after classes go to the library,
Right.
sit there with your laptop, with your books, and study till the library closes or till whatever time is suitable for you. So I think that's a lot better investment than coaching.
Exactly. So that was it. We covered about the coaching, tutorials, and the electives. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll talk more about the core subjects in the next video. Thank you.
बस ये देख कि वीडियो बंद तो ना हो गया.
मुझे अभी एक चीज ये रियलाइज हुई कि जब हम वीडियोस है, आपको कौन सा mention, what you are